One thing I noticed once I really started to practice the power of awareness, impersonally observing my own thoughts, emotions, the events in my life, I noticed a pattern that it's really true what all those books on the law of attraction say, that it's really important for you to set your vibrational frequency, your frame of mind, you have to really set your emotional state in the morning, because if you don't, you can really carry that on throughout the whole day, which makes it difficult for you to really seize the opportunity that the day has to present for you, which makes it difficult for you to accomplish goals and manifest desires. So in the morning, if you find yourself really frustrated, angry, or in a bad mood, it's really important for you to do something about it, whether it's meditating or whatever it is that gets you to feel better. Because one thing I noticed as I was being aware of the different things happening in my life, and I was able to connect the dots, and I noticed that a lot of times when some sort of drama happens or some sort of event, or if I track some sort of rude person that gets me either angry or discouraged or frustrated, I noticed that not too long prior to that, something else happened where I had some sort of emotional charge where I was angry, frustrated, something a similar emotional state, a similar wavelength, a similar frequency happened prior to that. And like I said, I was practicing the power of awareness, and I realized, wow, just a day before, I remembered I was so frustrated about something else. And then later on that day or the next day, this happened. And it's like, why are these bad things happening to me back to back? But I realized it's because of the emotional charge I had prior to that. And it reminded me of something that I learned. It was actually a story that Eckhart Tolle was explaining in his book. I believe it was The Power of Now or A New Earth, where he was observing this certain man in a restaurant, and he calls it the pain body. This man was really angry, and Eckhart Tolle calls that kind of energy, that anger, hatred, discouragement, frustration, whatever kind of a word you want to give it, he calls it a pain body, because to him, to Eckhart Tolle, it's like an actual entity that's alive. It's invisible, but it's alive, and it's following you wherever you go. So he was observing this man in a restaurant, and he was making this scene. He was really angry, and everybody in the restaurant was like looking at him like, what's up with this dude? And so he was saying that whenever you get angry like that, it follows you everywhere you go, kind of like a really bad friend, a toxic friend, or somebody that's in your life that follows you wherever you go and brings you down and just causes more drama wherever you go. So it's really important to check yourself whenever you find yourself in that kind of emotional state, because you're carrying it with you wherever you go, which means that you're going to create some sort of event, some sort of experience, or attract similar people, similar angry people in your life. So I also noticed, as I was practicing the power of awareness, not only those type of events, frustrating events, but also good events too, especially back when I really first started to practice observing my thoughts, when I first started to read Eckhart Tolle's books a long time ago. At that time, I was working somewhere where I was in sales. I was making commission. So I thought, wow, especially because around that time I really started to study the law of attraction, I was applying it in my own job. And so I got myself in a very excited, enthusiastic state, which Eckhart Tolle himself says that enthusiasm is like this invisible vibrational wave you can ride all the way to your manifested desires. So I started to build up enthusiasm for increasing my sales and my commission, and I visualized myself selling to all those people and seeing my checks increase higher and higher and higher and higher. And soon after that, I noticed that all I had to do was just be present and in the moment, and one thing led to another, and I was making sales, sales, sales. And my coworkers were actually really surprised. They were looking at me like, "What are you doing different?" And I didn't tell them what books I was reading or anything like that, but I just kept it to myself. But I noticed that when I generated a lot of enthusiasm for having a good day at work, for making all those sales before I even went to work, I really, and like I said, I was practicing the power of awareness. I was really able to connect the dots, and I noticed, wow, I had a really good day in sales today, and I generated a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm prior to that. So that's why it's important in the morning to be aware of how you feel. If you want to have a good day, do the best you can to get yourself in a good feeling, a good emotional state. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says to create your day in the morning. So if you really do believe in the law of attraction and manifesting desires, you will be creating your day every morning. So that's a good way to get yourself to feel good about your, not only about yourself, but about life. And so you can seize the day, seize the opportunity that the day has to present to you, and really accomplish goals and manifest desires. Get yourself into a happy or better feeling mood however you can before you leave, before you step a foot out the door, because you want to be able to seize the day. You want to be able to manifest desires. And when it comes down to it, it's all about your vibrational frequency. So you got to set your tone in the morning. It's very important. And if you really want to make something happen as soon as possible, the more energy you build up, the more enthusiasm you can build up prior to the event, the faster something good will happen. But if you're really angry and really discouraged, that's also energy too. So you're going to manifest something soon after that too. It's a good way to keep yourself in check. You don't want to create more drama in your life, right? So stop getting so frustrated and angry. And learn to raise your vibrational frequency and watch how things will happen soon afterwards.